Welcome to Lycomingfootball.com. John Green here, and we're talking to head coach Mike Clark, who is in his sixth season. 4-1 for winning seasons, I guess, and 8-2 the last two seasons, and here we go. It rolls around fast, but this is an exciting time of the year, isn't it?
It is, John. As you get into it, just look at this year alone, it's crazy to think that this is the sixth year. But here we are. Time really does fly. And look, the last couple of years have been great. We think we've positioned ourselves, as a program where we have a chance to be consistently good. Some of that ties into recruiting and how well guys develop. It also ties into retention and player development. So, look, we like where we are. I'm not sure we're as good as everybody says we are right now, but I do think there's enough pieces in place that we have a chance to be a really good football team, provided that we continue to improve, on a daily basis.
Yeah, I wrote an article about a target on your back. Everyone's saying Lycoming win the MAC, and if you start reading headlines, that's sort of bad, and I didn't think you'd let the team get that overjoyed about it. It's just a poll vote, and let's see what happens at the end of the year. But I'd like to take you back to, was it 1993? You were a line.
Yeah, that's the year I graduated. Yeah, it was
lineman coach, or
it would have been 98. 98, I would have been the offensive line coach.
Yeah,
yep.
Tell me a little bit about that, and maybe what has changed in football from then to now, or what's different, or maybe nothing.
Well, I think, John, the longer you're in it, I think you'll see that it certainly runs in cycles. Like, you always hear that about sports, especially about football. So, I think back then the game was slower and maybe not. I don't want to say less athletic, because there were certainly a lot of really good players, but I think players have continued to get bigger, right? And faster and stronger. And then the how people spread the field, I think, how they try to create as much space for the athletes as they possibly can. There's less traditional two-back pro-style football teams, and there's more one-back or spread, no huddle, hurry up kind of things. And so the schemes have changed a little bit. And then I think in terms of tempo, a lot of offenses are trying to play as fast as they can to try to keep the defense off guard and keep the defense off balance. So I'd say those are probably the two biggest adjustments. People are bigger, faster, stronger, so they're trying to create, more space by aligning people wider. And then, and how quickly people are operating is certainly another significant change.
That fast tempo must be tough on linemen. They'd have to be in pretty good shape, catch your breath and get going again.
Yeah, it's hard. Listen, I think on both sides of the ball, for the offenses that try to do it, you certainly need to make sure you're in great shape, because there's still a great deal of communication that needs to happen in a short period of time. And then defensively, obviously, if you get worn down too, right? Like, you have to play, and then you got to have a pile, and if the offense is lining up and running again, you're trying to figure out, okay, what call are we supposed to play defensively? How are they aligned? Where do I need to be? And so I think it wears on you physically and mentally, really.
Mm-hmm. If I remember right, those 2 years, were you here just two?
Just two in the 90s.
Yep. You won the MAC championship both years?
We were fortunate enough. Yeah, we were fortunate enough to be a playoff team and league champs in both 98 and 99.
Mm-hmm. That was kind of special for you, I'm sure.
Look, those are, listen, if you coach with Coach Girardi, there's a good chance you're going to win a championship at some point anyway. So those were great opportunities. Those were both really good years, and I think the kind of years that people expect from our program. And we think, again, we're in a position where maybe we can be a top 20 team, maybe a top 10 team, right? And in a great year, hey, like we were in the 90s, maybe you get lucky and you're in the Final Four national championship game.
Mm-hmm. Last week, not even a week ago, down at Franklin Marshall, a scrimmage, I happened to show up down there and watched. And you satisfied with overall how the team came through that scrimmage?
I think so. Especially in terms of our health, yeah. So we got out of it relatively healthy. There's some things we need to work on, right? We did a lot of situational things first before we played real football, but I think if you looked at, just how we did once the actual scrimmage started with the first quarter and not the overtime stuff or the goal line period that we did or the kicking, I would say collectively we're pretty pleased. Still some areas to work on, but I thought we operated pretty efficiently on offense. Thought we played pretty good defense, and hope to continue to again improve on those things as we get through this week, getting ready for Brockport State.
Yeah, that's the reason you have the scrimmage, to see how it is and make some adjustments and hopefully get some of that stuff tweaked.
Sure, and it gave, absolutely, to see where you need to improve. And the other thing, John, I think that you figure out is what are guys capable of, right? Not just against one defense where you see each other for a week and a half or 2.5 weeks, and you just kind of line up against your defense where you really know each other, but against a group that on either side of the ball was doing stuff different. A different scheme defensively, a different scheme offensively, and then how well do guys react and play football in that situation, right? A lot of times it separates if there's two guys that are relatively close at one position, how well they fare in that situation. Tells you a lot about those guys.
Mm-hmm. Last question, Brockport. You've seen film on them. They have a new coach, so maybe you don't know really what to expect, but probably won't change all that much. What do you expect out of that team? They're always pretty big and physical.
Well, they are. We expect them to be a big and physical group. Look, they possess really good athleticism for their size. They're absolutely physically tough. All we really have to hang our hat on is last year's game. They had a change in the head coach, but he was their offensive coordinator. They do have a new defensive coordinator, so there's some questions about what they may do, and that presents a lot of uncertainty for us. Because at least offensively, you can make an assumption, a logical or a reasonable assumption that they're going to play the same way. Defensively now it's different, so we've done our best to ask some questions. Haven't got as much information as we would like about where they are defensively, but we'll do our best to be prepared for as much as we can be and hopefully play well up there on Saturday afternoon.
Mm-hmm. Well, great time of the year. Good luck to you this season, and thanks for talking to us, and we'll be hitting again.
No, absolutely, John. Thanks for coming out.
Right.
All right, bye.
This has been a production of Lycomingfootball.com.